ANC's tax money mystery. Where does it go? Ever wondered where your hard-earned tax money goes? You know, the money you painstakingly peel off your paycheck every month? Yeah, that money. Well, today we're diving headfirst into the labyrinth that is the South African government's budget to see exactly where it all goes. We're talking about how the ANC, the ruling party, allocates the tax revenue collected from you, the good people of South Africa. And let me tell you, it's a wild ride, my friends. Think of it like this. You're on a financial safari. We'll be encountering a whole range of creatures, from the majestic, essential services, to the downright parasitic, corruption scandals. Spoiler alert, it's a mix of good, bad, and downright ugly. But hey, no need for insect repellent here, folks. Just grab your sense of humor and a healthy dose of skepticism, and let's dive in. Okay, let's start with the good stuff. The reason we even pay taxes in the first place. Essential services. You know, the things that keep a country running, like a well-oiled vuvuzela. First up, we've got social grants. Now, South Africa has a massive social grant system, one of the largest in the world, in fact. These grants provide a crucial safety net for millions of South Africans living in poverty, helping them afford basic necessities like food and housing. Then there are the public sector salaries. We're talking teachers, nurses, police officers, the people who keep the lights on, sometimes at least, but we'll get to that later. These folks deserve a decent wage, right? After all, they're the backbone of our society. And of course, we can't forget about education. It's the key to a brighter future, they say. Your tax money goes towards funding schools, universities, and various educational programs. The goal? To equip young South Africans with the skills they need to succeed in life. Sounds pretty good so far, right? Next up, healthcare. We all need it, and it's a fundamental human right. Your tax money helps fund hospitals, clinics, and healthcare workers. It's about ensuring that even the most vulnerable in society have access to decent medical care. Then there's infrastructure. Roads, bridges, public transport. These things don't just magically appear, you know. They require constant investment and upkeep. And that's where your tax money comes in. A well-maintained infrastructure is crucial for economic growth and development. And finally, we have security and law enforcement. We're talking about the police, the courts, the whole shebang. They're there to keep us safe, to uphold the law, and to ensure justice is served. Now, while there are definitely some issues within these systems, the idea, in theory, is that they're there to protect and serve the public. So there you have it, folks. The good stuff. The essential services that your tax money helps fund. It's like a well-balanced meal, providing all the necessary nutrients for a healthy society. But just like a good bunny chow, there's always a side of something a little more complicated. Now for the part you've all been waiting for. The reason we need that healthy dose of skepticism, the bad and the ugly. This is where things get a little sticky, a little shady, a little... well, you get the picture. We're talking about corruption and waste, my friends, and unfortunately, South Africa has had more than its fair share of it. First up on our corruption safari, we have the infamous duo looting and tender fraud. These two go together like pap and vlice, and they've been a persistent problem in South Africa. Basically, it boils down to government officials and their cronies siphoning off public funds for personal gain through rigged tenders and dodgy contracts. It's like a game of keep away with your tax money, and guess who always loses? Then there are the SOE bailouts. SOEs, or state-owned enterprises, are supposed to be these big, important companies that provide essential services like electricity. Eskom, anyone? But mismanagement, corruption, and inefficiency have turned many of them into financial black holes, constantly needing bailouts from the government. And guess where that bailout money comes from? You guessed it, your taxes. Next up, we have a personal favorite: luxury spending. We've all seen the headlines. Government officials splurging on fancy cars, lavish trips, and exorbitant lifestyles, all while the people they're supposed to serve struggle to make ends meet. It's like they're playing a real-life game of Monopoly, but instead of using fake money, they're using yours. And let's not forget about the ghost employees. These are people who, well, don't actually exist. They're on the government payroll collecting salaries and benefits, but they never show up for work. Why? Because they're figments of someone's imagination, created solely to steal your hard-earned tax money. And finally, we have the misallocation of funds to cadres and cronies. This is when government contracts and jobs are handed out not based on merit or experience, but on political connections and loyalty. It's like a closed-door club, and the only way to get in is to have the right last name or to have greased the right palms. High-level corruption, the big fish. Now that we've dipped our toes into the murky waters of corruption and waste, it's time to swim with the big fish, the ones who make the headlines and leave us shaking our heads in disbelief. We're talking about high-level corruption cases, the kind that make you question everything you thought you knew about South African politics. First up, the big kahuna, the granddaddy of them all, state capture. This wasn't just a case of a few bad apples. This was a full-blown infestation. We're talking about a systematic effort to capture state institutions, from law enforcement agencies to state-owned enterprises, for the benefit of a select few. It's like someone hijacked the entire government and steered it straight towards their own pockets. And then there were the COVID-19 PPE scandals. Just when you thought things couldn't get any worse, the pandemic hit. And with it came a whole new wave of corruption. Remember all those stories about overpriced masks, dodgy sanitizers, and tenders awarded to politically connected individuals with no experience in healthcare? Yeah, that was just the tip of the iceberg. Speaking of things that are constantly breaking down, let's talk about Eskom and the load-shedding crisis. Eskom, the state-owned power utility, has become synonymous with rolling blackouts, mismanagement, and allegations of corruption. It's a classic example of how corruption can cripple essential services and bring a country to its knees, literally. And who can forget about the housing and land reform failures? Access to affordable housing and land ownership is crucial for social and economic equality. Yet, despite years of promises and billions of rands spent, the government has failed to deliver on its promises, leaving millions of South Africans stuck in a cycle of poverty and inequality. The consequences. A nation. Feeling the pinch. So far, we've explored the good, the bad, and the downright ugly of how the ANC government allocates your tax money. But now it's time to talk about the consequences, the real-world impact of all this corruption and mismanagement. And spoiler alert, it's not pretty. First and foremost, we have the issue of high unemployment. South Africa has one of the highest unemployment rates in the world, with millions of people struggling to find jobs. This is partly due to a lack of investment in key sectors, but it's also a direct result of corruption, which scares away investors and stifles economic growth. Then there's the economic decline. The South African economy has been struggling for years, with low growth rates and rising inflation. This means that your hard-earned money is worth less and less each day, making it harder to make ends meet. And guess what's one of the main culprits behind this economic malaise? You guessed it, corruption. And as the economy shrinks, poverty and crime rates rise. It's a vicious cycle. When people are desperate, they're more likely to resort to crime, which further undermines the economy and creates a climate of fear and instability. It's like a game of Jenga, and corruption is slowly pulling out the blocks one by one. And to add insult to injury, the government often responds to these crises by raising taxes and increasing debt. It's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. Higher taxes burden already struggling taxpayers, while increased debt saddles future generations with a mountain of financial obligations. The consequences of the ANC's mismanagement are felt by every South African every single day. It's a stark reminder that corruption is not a victimless crime. It's a cancer that eats away at the very fabric of society, leaving behind a trail of broken promises, shattered dreams, and a deeply uncertain future. The power is yours. So there you have it, folks. The ANC's tax money mystery, laid bare for all to see. It's a story of both hope and despair, of essential services that actually work, and of brazen corruption that makes your blood boil. While it's true that some of your tax money does go towards essential services, a significant portion is lost to corruption and mismanagement. It's like ordering a delicious plate of food, only to find out that half of it is rotten. But don't despair, my fellow South Africans. The power to change this narrative lies in your hands. Stay informed, ask questions, and hold your leaders accountable. Remember, it's your money, your country, and your future. So, while some of your tax money does go to essential services, a significant portion is lost to corruption and mismanagement. Stay informed and hold your leaders accountable.